week 6. It's the final week of the course. This will probably be a slightly shorter presentation this week. I'm just going to take you through what this week is all about, which is reflection. You're going to be analysing kind of your progress over the course, and also reflecting on the sort of learner that you are a little bit more after getting through the last 5 weeks. And I'll finish up as always by going through the different things that you need to do during the week, what the assignment is, and your final blog post and things like that. So, reflection. Well, to be honest, you've been reflecting as we go along, so this is kind of probably a slightly more grand reflection on everything that's kind of happened. But you know, the process of reflection is something you've already been taking part in. But let's just have a look at what reflection is all about. To reflect itself is to look back on, and one of the key things is I think that it's an introspective process. So there's been a lot of collaboration and a lot of working with others during the course as it's gone along, but this week really is about you. It's a solo process. It's a process of you looking inwardly at what you've been doing, how you've got on within the course yourself. And what I really want you to kind of get involved in is getting to that level of what we might call metacognition, which is not just evaluating what you learned and thinking about your progress, but also how did you get there. So evaluating the way that you learned, how you learned to do different skills, the different tools that you had to use, the processes that you went through in that learning. So that's really, really key. It is also a self-evaluative process, so we use the word evaluation here. It's a process of self-analysis. What you learned, how much progress did you make, how far have you come, and also what you're going to do next. So thinking about like how you might take these skills forward and how they've added to your learning in other areas is really, really important. One of the tools that I think would be useful to help you do this is to look back at the work of Carol Dweck, which I gave you a video from her in week 1, talking about the idea of mindsets and the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And I think that one of the things that would be useful to do is to look at these 5 key areas, the idea of challenges, obstacles, effort, criticism, and success, and to evaluate over the last 5 weeks, when you've faced challenges, what have you done? Have you avoided them, or did you embrace them? When you've had to put in effort, have you seen it as being something that's been like fruitless, or is it you feel that your effort you've put in has helped you master things and make progress? So I think this is a really nice way of you kind of looking inwardly and gives you a real focus for what is a process of self-analysis. What I've tried to do here, and you can, please go ahead and use these if you want to, is to kind of word these into like 5 key questions. So what challenges did you face and how did you respond to them? What obstacles got in your way? How did you get around them? What processes and what tools did you use to get past obstacles that came up? How much effort did you put into the course, and what do you think you got out of it? Did you put in 100% all the time? Were there times when you didn't? What were the reasons for that? What feedback did you receive, and how did you take it? Did you find it useful? Were you able to move yourself on? Do you work well with criticism, or did you find that the criticism was the difficult thing to take? What success did other participants have, and how did that make you feel? So not just thinking about your own successes, but looking at the success of others within the course. You've been reading other members' blog posts and their work as they've gone along. Did that spur you on and feel that you could, live up to their standards, or did it kind of put you off and make the course more difficult? So that's 5 questions. That's like 5 areas that you could focus some of your sort of reflection, your self-analysis on this week. Another approach would be to list all of your successes and list all of your failures within the course. So to look at the course as a whole and say, what things did I do well, where do I feel I was successful, and then to look at the things where you kind of think And as I mentioned just a moment ago, the other thing that I really want you to think about is what happens next, because really, if we're completely honest, you've only really scratched the surface of these different skills that we've explored over the last 5 weeks. This is just the beginning of a longer process, I hope. for you being able to take on independence and interdependence as a learner, that it's going to impact on your studies at A level, it's going to impact on your studies going into university. But we're not done. This was just the beginning. So can you see opportunities or subjects where you're going to be doing work that you can take these skills forward? How do you think these skills are going to help you in your next steps through your educational career, whether that's going into A levels, whether that's going on to university, if that's going into a job? What is it that you're taking away, and how do you see yourself moving these skills forward in the future? To help you do this, I've put some reading up. Learning and Teaching, Reflection and Reflective Practice is an interesting article. It's something that, is something that I've had to read, but I think that it's got some really important points about like why reflection is a process that needs to take place. And something that I'm trying to encourage learners to do as much as possible is to like reflect on what they've been doing. So please have a read of that. Stephen Heppel talking about metacognition and what it is, and it'll just give you something to think about you getting into this idea of looking at not just what you learned, but the way you went about learning it. Post for myself, really I just want you to look at paragraph 6, which is about like this idea of analysis and the importance of peer and self-assessment in that process. And then a couple of articles, one on reflection from Plymouth University. It's a nice little guide about like the sort of questions and the way you might approach reflection. And then an article on fixed and growth mindsets, which includes the image that I used earlier, but just gives you some other pointers about using it as a process for kind of evaluation and self-analysis. So just a little bit of reading for you to do there on this idea of reflection and self-evaluation. This week's Twitter discussion is really, really quite important. So those of you that have made it this far, well done. I really hope that you can all join in with the discussion this week. It would be really valuable to me, as well as this course being about you and your learning and developing independence and interdependence. This is part of my dissertation, so this is my data collection. It'd be really useful to me if all of you can attend on Wednesday between 6 and 7, so I can get some feedback from you, some informal feedback about the course, that more qualitative. You are going to be completing a survey this week, which I'll talk about in just a moment, but really be useful for me to be able to just ask you questions online and get some feedback from you about how the course has gone, the progress that you think you've made, the way you've approached it, and what the course has given you. So that's the Twitter discussion is on Wednesday between 6 and 7 o'clock British Standard Time. And then, your assignment this week, just as we started with, you began the course with a survey. We're going to end the course with a survey. The survey is in 2 parts. The first part is very much about you. It's the end of the course. Similar questions to the first time round, getting you to reflect on your skills as a learner and how they've developed, and also your attributes as an independent learner and how those things have developed or not, perhaps within the course. So that's the first bit. The second part of the survey is for you to evaluate the course itself, the different features of the course, like the Twitter discussion, the blog posts, the different types of assignments, and so on. So that's something that I really want you to take some time in completing. It would be useful perhaps to work through some of the processes first. Use the questions that I gave you earlier to analyze your own performance first before completing the survey. Join in with the Twitter discussion and listen to what other people have got to say before you sit and reflect on your own progress. So don't necessarily jump in and do the survey straight away. Give it a couple of days and reflect a bit first before you complete the survey. But please do the survey. Please complete both sections very, very carefully. Both are really important. The first bit is really important for you. It'll help inform your blog post, your final post on the course. And the second bit is really important for me because it's going to help me understand more about how the course has gone and how I can make changes and improve the course for future participants. Blogging, it's your final post, your final bit of reflection. I want you to consider the following things: your progress as an interdependent learner, what you believe you gained out of completing the course, skills and attributes, both areas that relates to the survey you're going to complete, and then thinking about the future, what you're going to take away and how you think you're going to use that. So the questions in the blog post are directly related to the processes that I've already been discussing in today's presentation. And as always, comment on each other's work. This is really important this week. It's final post. Please take the time to read what people have said, what they've got out of the course. Do you agree with what they've kind of put? Do you share similar experiences? Did you have different experiences to them? Share them with each other, and please just get a bit of discussion going there. I sent an email to those of you that have made it this far in the course, suggesting that you just pick 2 or 3 people at this stage who have also made it this far and comment on their work. Okay. So I promised this would be a short one. All the information, as always, is on the blog. The week 6 page has already been updated with everything that you need to know. All the tweets can be found at the hashtag. Please join in with this week's Twitter discussion. Really, really important to help you with your own kind of reflective thinking, but also useful for me to get some informal feedback about the course before you complete the survey, which is the more formal version of the feedback about the course. Instructions on claiming badges and displaying them are in the slides. So week 3 slides, if you still haven't claimed some of your badges yet, it tells you how to do it in the slides from week 3. If you want to display your badges on your blog or anywhere else, on your Facebook profile, etc., look at the slides from last week and you'll find information on how to do that. As always, and some of you do, you can contact me via email or get in touch with me via Twitter. And what I just want to say there is, thank you. I'm your #1 fan, Critters. I really, really value that you got involved in the course. It has been an experiment, but I think that it's gone well, particularly for some of you. This, week is about just reflecting, so please enjoy the final week of the course. I really want to hear from you and how you've got on. That's really important to me, but well done, and hopefully I'll see all of you online on Wednesday. So thanks.